was talking, I was doing some pretty incredible narration and just now realized that it wasn't even recording. Anyway, I'm still on 980 North. At some point, I'm assuming it's going to hook up with Route 30. At which point I will be making a left and heading up towards Raccoon Creek State Park. I don't know that I've ever been on this road. Or at least this part of this road. That's when you're video vlogging, audio vlogging, you have to qualify everything, right? Qualify every detail. I've never been a detail guy, so that's just a foreign concept to me. I guess what I'm saying right now is I'm kind of just lost. I don't really know where I am. So I'm going to go this way. Ooh, watch out, little guy. That's 2230. Old Route 30 is down here, though. I don't know how that works. Like I said before, I'm not a details guy, so when they say 2230, I don't know if that's in conjunction, both run together, or what's run side by side. 22's up top, the rejuvenated highway, and 30's down below, runs parallel to it. I think that's how that works. Anyway, got a road closure down here. Guess I'm going to follow me a detour. This is backcountry Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So cool. You know what's crazy is I've always had a tinge of a slight bit of fear of riding around backcountry USA by myself in my truck. In my son's truck, which is now my truck. It's still his truck. I just drive it for him. But the crazy thing is that even though I always felt a little uncomfortable about being in an area that is so totally foreign to me in every way, that doing the same thing on a motorcycle, I feel totally exhilarated and free of any kind of fear whatsoever. Almost like the motorbike gives me a sense of strength, a sense of just invincibility. It's just weird, just strange. One thing is for sure, I think I missed Route 30. I don't know how. Not that big of a road, but it's big enough of a road that I ought to know when I get to it. There we go. Crazy, huh? In just a second, I'm gonna go, wow, is that where I'm at? Yeah, I know where I'm at. Right next to the farm. Yes, sir. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. You know what I like about video vlogging? And having audio to it is some of these young guys have some pretty interesting personalities. You know, you can tell just by listening to them goofing around. You can tell that that'd be fun to be around. They're just always, some of them are just, you know what, they're laughing, yakking it up, being funny. I think one of the, am I still recording? Yeah, I'm still recording. I think one of the funniest, one of the most entertaining videos that I ever saw was a young guy. I don't know how young he was, but I suppose he was pretty young. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm thinking early 20s, and the only reason I'm saying that is because he had just purchased a brand new motorbike. It was one of those little baby cross rockets. It was I think a 125, and he just went on and on and on. He picked it up, hadn't been on a bike at all in his life except for when he took the instructional training course to get his license. Was the only time that he had actually been on a bike, and he he had somehow gotten a ride to this dealership, which was an hour or two away from his home. This was in Canada somewhere. And he bought the bike, and he proceeded to get on the bike and ride it home. And he did so, recording himself, recording the ride, recording himself, audio vlogging his whole ride. It was just hilarious. It was so entertaining. Because I mean, he was doing so many things. He was doing so many things wrong. Just, you know, just, can you imagine just a first-time rider just getting on a bike and doing some goofy crap? You know, it was just awesome. Anyway, we're coming up to my favorite sign in all of Western Pennsylvania. Right here. Right here. Got Farwood. Farwood. Got Farwood. Love that. I love that sign. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, that dude, yeah, he recorded himself riding home, and it was just hilarious. To listen to him, you know, dealing with his turn signal, which was on for like miles or whatever, or just dealing with traffic and a bike that he wasn't comfortable with or used to riding, and or riding at all. Just there's a tribute right there to a young man that died, probably in a motorbike accident. It seems to me that most of, I don't know, I'm just guessing, most of the fatalities out on the road are due to young guys and crotch rockets who just get carried away. They're not old fogies, old farts like me, who are maybe just a little bit more, a little more savvy with traffic and a little bit more careful about not getting crazy. And of course, you can't get crazy on a Honda Shadow. You can get crazy on an R6, which is what my son had. Yes, we're still recording. Yes, let me tell you about how I got started riding, which goes in anyway. I was just talking about that tribute to that young man who lost his life, and I'm assuming he lost his life on a motorbike. These roads, I'm in the park now, but that road, Route 30 back there, is used a lot by motorcycle riders, by bikers. Anyway, I'm 60. I started riding at 57. I began riding at 57 3 years ago. My son passed away in 2013. He was in the Air Force. He was in his 6th year. He'd re-enlisted, traveled all over the world, security forces, on C-17 jets, and anyway, you know, he's unfortunately one of the 22. I ride for Mission 22, which is fighting the battle against veteran suicide. My son's one of those. That's why I ride for Mission 22 now. That's my mission. But anyway, I began riding at 57, which was 2 years after my son passed away. And the reason for my riding was because we had his R6 in our garage. My garage is sitting there in storage. And I had this insatiable dream or appetite to get on that thing and take it for a spin, you know, and spit with my son in spirit and at my side, and I was just ready to do it, you know. But of course, I would ask people here and there, what do you think? And of course, they would say nothing. They would just shake their head and say, you as much they, you know, it's like a picture being 1,000 words. They just shake their heads and, okay, I got it. I got it. I'm an old fogey, and you don't put old fogies that really have never been on a motorbike. You don't put them on an R6. This is the little lake at Raccoon, by the way. It's kind of cool. Small, but it's nice. But anyway, so I didn't dare get on that bike. I did start it here and there. Like that's anything. But anyway, I've got a buddy with camp about 2.5 hours north of Pittsburgh, and I'd been up to his camp several times. One occasion I went up there met him up there, and you know, at this point, he originally had one little bike, a little Honda 90cc that he just absolutely loves, and he's been on bikes. He'd been on bikes in his youth. But anyway, he just loved getting on that little 90cc and trolling around, you know, the backcountry roads up there around Cook's Forest. But I went up one day, and yeah, sure enough, he had two bikes now. He had a Honda 125cc. Yes, we're still recording. And he was good enough to say, all right, you know what, you want to get out and do some riding? I said, whoa, baby, you bet. So he let me on that 125, that Honda, which stands pretty tall for a guy that's 5'8". You know, I almost can't really flat-foot it on that bike. I think I can. I can't remember. Yeah, I can, but just barely. Anyway, he got on his 90. I got on his 125, and we proceeded to roll around the Cook's Forest area, which is around an Allegheny National Forest. Just beautiful, beautiful area. And I just fell in love with being on two wheels. Like I said earlier, I don't know if any of that was recording earlier, but I said I had a fear of riding for having gotten in a pretty bad bicycle accident